SoCalQOL. We are here. It is Transformation Tuesday. We're excited. We're stoked. We have a very interesting week to share with you guys. And I have to admit, it wasn't my best week, and it wasn't even about the workouts. It wasn't even about, necessarily like stress levels, but, sleep. And there was a day of reckoning when it comes, and literally wreck my diet reckoning. And then, but it came full circle, because there was a point where I realized that this is just a part of the process. You're going to go ups and downs. You're going to go into valleys, and on the top of a mountaintop and feel great, and, hit the valley again and feel like shit. So with all that being said, it was very necessary to have a week like this. I believe we're in the 6th week. I could be wrong. That's what the last stream title for this type of podcast was. So I assumed we're on 6. And it's like, yeah, we're like, 2 weeks into February. So that makes sense. But yeah, let's start hopping in. I'm actually going to try to get rid of the, okay, that actually is gone. So that's good. But yeah, we're going to jump right into it. I believe I started with stand hours, but yeah, we'll get into the details of exactly what I was trying to paraphrase. But yeah, stand hours. I mean, it's funny because it looks like, is it the sprint thing, the bars? Anyways, it looks like data bars to me, for your phone. So it's very interesting. It went from 16 hours stand hours all the way down to 8 hours. Average is 12, but it looks very nice. Looks like a little stairway. I wish it was going up, but it's actually going down. But that's okay. But yeah, nothing to report there. Nothing crazy. Walking and running distance. Obviously, you can see on Friday, I went bonkers and went up to almost 15 miles for the day. Average has been 8. So that's including just regular everyday stuff plus my workouts. And actually, I don't think I started this before. Maybe I did. Maybe I did the 5th week. But sprinting. I started, I did another batch of sprinting. Actually, a few of them, which we might see in my heart rate. I'm not too sure. But all in all, this being my heart rate, I believe I did it on Friday and Saturday. But there looks like Wednesday had a pretty high heart rate as well. So yeah, nothing crazy to report there. Exercise minutes, yeah, almost 200 minutes on Friday. Last Wednesday, I almost hit the same. But yeah, average is 128. So a good 2 hours, which is nice. So that's a combination of walking, 5-ish miles, another combination of doing yoga for at least 15 minutes a day. I'm not gonna lie, I missed a few days this week, but I would like make up for it. So if I would miss 2 days of doing yoga, on the 3rd day, I would actually end up doing either an hour total, or I would actually do the whole hour and a half. So I only do that because, and it's not about like the numbers, it's more so about how I feel. So if I know theoretically, if I just did 15 minutes every day for the rest of my life, that's cool. Or every 3-4 days I do an hour and a half. That's kind of the mentality, because my body just feels so much better. I don't know if I've accentuated that enough, but I'm super impressed with just the mentality of stretching / doing yoga every day, because it's like my body's just always ready. It's always ready to go. I'm not sore. Granted, I'm not doing like crazy workouts. I'm doing incline push-ups. I'm doing pull-ups, and and only doing like 4 or 5, and then my walks. And I usually do a little stretch routine before I go on a walk. But just having the mentality of like when I'm stretching, when I'm doing yoga, and I do it consistently, it ends up just like it's being therapeutic, but it's also I just can tell it's stretching out parts of my body that you can't like plan for. You can't like if I know I'm going to go on a hike, yeah, I might stretch a little bit more beforehand just because it's a hike. But, like let's say you don't do a workout, but you end up, needing to run up some stairs, or, you're trying to catch the bus, or, there's just a hypothetical that happens to where you essentially do a burst of energy, or you do a certain kind of twist with your body, or you lift something heavy. You can't prepare for that. You like before that happens in the moment, spontaneously, you're not going to go, oh, but wait, before this happens, I got to stretch. So by you stretching every day, depending on your schedule, if you do it in the morning, great. If you do it at night, that's fine too. That's what I do. But all in all, it's like I just feel like my body is prepared for anything, whether I'm going to do 2 or 3 walks on a day, or I'm not going to do any walks, and I'm going to, just do a bunch of sprints, or, God forbid, I go to the gym and do lifting and stuff. But you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it sets you up to win regardless, and it's becoming like an amazing physical wellness aspect of a routine that I didn't know I wanted, and I didn't know that was that necessary. I think we hear it a lot, like, oh yeah, you should stretch, you don't pull anything, but like it's super and I at this point in time, I will say to anybody, if you're going to work out at all to where you're going to be sore, spend a half hour doing yoga, maybe even an hour if you have the time, because you're not going to get sore after that workout. Granted, I can't speak from experience of lifting crazy heavy weights, but maybe I'll find somebody who can and let me know. And if they're super big and they can't do certain poses or whatever, or they can't do the chaturangas, or there's certain things that they physically can't attempt, sideways stretches or anything like that, like that's fine. But there's always modified versions. There's always ways to get around those types of things so you can still participate. So anyways, good old yoga. Sleep analysis. So this week was weird. Basically, as you can see, on Tuesday and Thursday, I didn't have my watch on, and then when I did put it on, I don't think I kept it on, or maybe I moved it, or I don't know. But you can see by the latter part of the week, I'm going to sleep around 2 a.m., which totally screws up my sleep for 4 or 5 hours, wake up early, do stuff, and then take a nap. So yeah, full disclosure. So, because I think I mentioned this last week, maybe I didn't. I did mention it on my other podcast, but we're switching. I'm trying to switch over my sleep schedule to what they call a biphasic, a modified. I think it's modified biphasic sleep schedule. But all it really is it's comparable to like the siestas of Spain, where you're going to be out till 1 or 2 in the morning anyways. Odds are you're not going to be able to get in 8 hours of sleep in one block of time before you have to go to work. So the mentality is, and granted, in Spain, the weather's different and the culture's different. So by 2 or 3 o'clock, when stores actually shut down to then reopen at 8 or 9, there's that little gap of time, 4 hours, where you can get some food, but also take a nap and gear up for the long night ahead of you. So with that being said, I feel like that really resonated with me. It isn't at all easy to just jump into. It can happen randomly and sporadically. Like, if you have kids and they wake you up early in the morning and then you're not able to go back to sleep, and and you end up, staying up till the later afternoon when they take a nap, you take a nap, whatever the case may be. The point is that you can theoretically get a good 6 to 8 hours that way, but it's just over time. It's having little gaps or little sections of sleep. So the first day I was really committing to it was, lo and behold, that Thursday. So I actually, was it Thursday? Yeah, it was Thursday night. So you can see that I didn't actually have my watch on. And I think a big reason of that had to do with I couldn't go to sleep on that Thursday. So on Wednesday, I did that 12 a.m. to 6 a.m., 7 a.m. time. So I had a good 5-6 hours, and and then lo and behold, as I was it was getting later in the day, I knew I needed to go to sleep, but it was only like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and it's not like I couldn't have gone to sleep. It was just in that moment I wanted to do some other stuff, and I was like, you know what, I can probably take a nap at like 4 or 5 o'clock. 4 or 5 o'clock comes around, and it's like I got a second wind where I knew I was tired, my body was tired, but I couldn't get myself to like take a nap. So, you know, 11 o'clock rolls around, 12 o'clock rolls around. I'm still not really feeling sleepy. I'm not getting tired enough, and I'm just it was it brings me back to the days where I couldn't go to sleep. So if you're that kind of person who currently or in the past or you've just experienced it before, that feeling of like, oh God, like I know I'm not gonna be able to fall asleep right away. It's weird because it just fucks with your head. It just makes you feel like you're not in control, and it just yeah, it's just a weird feeling. And then you kind of it's like you're in survival mode at that point. You're like, I'll do anything to go to sleep, whatever it is. And so my go-to back in the day when I was like a lot heavier, and even when I wasn't heavy and I was just young enough to have a metabolism where I could just eat whatever I wanted and then go to sleep, I would go to drive-throughs, I'd get Taco Bell, Jack in the Box, just the biggest bunch of food that I could that had the most calories, most sugar, most um, you know, uh, just most bad stuff for me. And I would just down it. And then that was enough for me to like basically go into food coma like you would on Thanksgiving. And then I would pass out. So I basically, submitted to that. So by 1 o'clock, 1:30, when I knew I just, like I said, I'd been up, you know, if I had waited a few more hours, it would have felt like I'd been up for 24 hours, and I was just super tired. But I couldn't go to sleep. It was like my body was tired, but like my brain wouldn't shut up, or vice versa. My brain was super tired, but my body just wouldn't calm down. So I ended up eating, they call them like mug cakes. So these little prepackaged little things of like confetti cake, or they have regular chocolate. Um, Put some confetti cake in a cup, put some, 3 tablespoons of water, put it in the microwave for a minute, let it cool down. It turns into this little like cake thing, and then just ate the whole damn thing. It was like 50 grams of carbs right there. 50 grams. What I have in one day, I ate in like not even like a fourth of a cup. Literally, like, this is a big cup, but like, this much cake. This is tea, um, with liquid stevia. But long story short is I finally went to sleep at about 2:30, 3 o'clock. Woke up, gosh, I probably woke up at like 8 or 9, just because I was like, well, I already screwed up, this morning, so I'm just gonna, do what I'm gonna do and go to sleep. But I'm gonna continue the rest of the day in a little bit, because I don't wanna bore you with the whole story right now. But let's just say my sleep was really screwed up this week. Heart rate 53 to 59 as far as resting goes. Our activity rings pretty decent Got all move, got all exercise. Missed a few stand goals, but that's okay. Resting energy, it's always like 2000. Monday was a little low, but 1900 is the average. Active energy, the 2 days I ran a lot was 1500. The normal days are in between 750 and 1000. So my average is about 1000 steps. The day I walked about, I think it was, what did I say, 16 miles, 15 miles. That was on the Friday, but my average is 17,000. Flights climbed. I actually went to Disneyland on that Friday, so that's why I have 6 levels. I believe we were on the 3rd floor or 4th floor, or maybe it is 6. Actually, maybe it is 6 there. Sorry, 6 levels at the parking structure. Granted, we don't walk up the whole thing, but you go down with the escalator. But yeah, and workouts, 6 hours. 6 hours of workouts on Friday, y'all. And I'll explain why in a sec. But yeah, that was a total of, I think I had 2 walks. I sprinted as well. And I may have also done yoga. So I literally did 4 workouts that day. And one of the walks was at Disneyland. So, pleasure and business. Heart rate variability, it's actually going down, which I guess that makes sense. Lack of sleep, bad diet. I have been walking more though, which is interesting. Oh wait, no, this isn't the. Sorry, I was thinking this was the VO2. I apologize, but 37 milliseconds. Funny enough, my heart rate monitor was like, it was intermittent because the batteries were low. So there was some mornings or some nights where I would put it on, and as long as I just stood super still, it wouldn't go off. It would actually read my blood pressure 3 times and then average it out. Unfortunately, it looks like I did it every day, but for most of the times that I did it, or no, no, I didn't. So look, so February 6th, there's no reading, and February 8th, there's no reading. So those 2 days, like, it was dead, or it wouldn't function correctly. So, or I forgot. That's another thing too. Sometimes I forget to do my readings, but I know. So what I did is I went to the store, I got some batteries. So it's fully charged right now, but I got some cheapo batteries. So we'll see how long they last. But that's a reality, people. Like, if you're gonna read your heart rate, and you're gonna do it every day, twice a day, there's a good chance that you have to take into account that you're going to need batteries. Granted, for my heart rate monitor from cardio, the cardio arm, it's weird because it'll pretend like it's dying for one day, and then the next day you'll try it and it'll seem fine, and then the next day after that it'll act like it's dying again, and then the next day it'll be fine. So I don't know if it's just I just need to throw them away right when it happens. That way I just know that I'll be set for a while, for at least a month. But yeah, all that to be said, that's kind of, the reality is, when you do run out of batteries, odds are you'll be lazy with it. You'll put it off. You won't go to the market that day. You'll wait till the next day, or, you'll do what I did, and you'll try to essentially get your last bit of readings in before it completely dies. But that's just not worth it. It's not worth doing that. Yeah, heart rates 60, 64. One went all the way down to 56. I want to say the 7th was Friday, maybe not, but my diet might have had something to do with that heart rate. Same with the 125. My diet was probably the reason for that change. We got the weight. Weight was steady, so I'm glad we didn't gain a lot, but I'm not glad that we didn't lose a lot. Yeah, so we're still cruising around 171, 172 right now. BMI is still around 23, and fat percentage went down to 17% on one day, um, which was kind of cool. It's cool to get a little burst of stuff. But and then this was really cool. So one of the days that yeah, it was the 9th. I was 172.6, but what was cool was that my muscle went up to 17%. I think that's the first time it's happened. I could be wrong, but so that was cool. But okay, after a month of doing push-ups every day, um, I got an increase in muscle percentage. So fat unfortunately didn't go down. There was one day actually, I think the week before, that I had 17 and 17. So, but I'll be excited to when I see the 17 stay for muscle and for body fat. Right now I'm back to 16, so can't really say anything about that. But it's just cool. See the change. It's going up, not going down. So that was nice. At least not going way far down. So this is my Friday, y'all. Or Thursday. Thursday? Friday. Crap. What day was it? I want to say it was Friday. Friday. Okay. So Friday was the bad day. So if I said Thursday, I couldn't sleep. I meant the night, Thursday night. So I woke up Wednesday. Yeah. So wait. No. Thursday I couldn't sleep because I woke up early. So that day, so I said that Wednesday I had a good amount of sleep, but then I didn't wake up. No, that's a lie. So Wednesday I woke up early, even though I wasn't wearing my watch, so I couldn't tell exactly what time I went to sleep and woke up. But then, you know, I know I didn't get a lot of sleep because I was starting my new schedule, my new 4.5 5 hour sleep, and then stay up until I take a nap and then go back, then go to sleep normally again at like midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. But because I couldn't take a nap on Thursday, by Friday, quote unquote, Friday morning is when I had that mug cake. So, like I said, 50 grams right there. And we're going to go over here. But I'll come back to all this stuff. But so, confetti cake. And then I also had a little piece of KFC chocolate cake, which is terrible. So by this point, I'm going to zoom in. So that's what I had in the middle of the night. So I called it breakfast, and I have coffee every day, basically. But then my lunch was literally at like 10 or 11 o'clock. My wife and I was like, honey, I've already screwed up today. I want to say that I'm going to give myself one day a month that I'm going to eat like an idiot. But I had just done it the week before. So if this is my February one, which it probably isn't because this week's Valentine's Day and my wife and I are still figuring out what we're going to do, but we're probably going to splurge at some place. But anyway, so for lunch, we went to the original pancake house. So I literally ate bacon pancakes, had scrambled eggs. We shared a Dutch baby. I put syrup on those bad boys, and man, was it good. Yeah, so when you look at, the calories, or sorry, when you look at the percentages, even just for the morning, I'm guessing, half of these carbohydrates was just that breakfast. So, 150 grams of carbs right there. And just by that morning time. It's funny, only 40 grams of saturated fat, because if I count the fat that I can actually eat, like eggs, pistachios, even though I didn't have pistachios, but fat ended up being 145 grams, which is insane. Fiber 30, sugars 93, protein 82. So terrible. So anyways, back to the actual food. Then when my wife and I decided we were going to go to Disneyland, so after the original pancake house, we came home. I think I went on a walk. She went to the gym. Then Then when she got back from the gym, I was like, hey, I'm gonna do some sprints. So she's like, hey, I'll join you. So we literally we do 20 minutes of sprints. So it's literally 15 seconds, however far that is. It's like from my house to the end of our block. So it's not that far, but 15 seconds of sprinting, full out sprinting. And then we wait 2 minutes, that many times for 20 minutes. So we did about, you know, I would say at least 10 sprints that way, maybe 8 at the least. But then after that, we were like, oh, we're going to go meet some friends at Disneyland. Lo and behold, oh, it actually is another slide. Okay. Lo and behold, we went to Taco Bell. Like I said, I'm eating like crap. Taco Bell got the nacho fries box for $5. Super cheap, a lot of bad food. That was only 680. That could be lying. I definitely picked the one that was like the least amount of crap. I also had another chocolate mug cake. I forgot before we left. I had a chocolate mug cake again, the chocolate one, and then I had a biscotti as well. But yeah, here are the workouts. So walk, track and field, and then another walk for Disneyland. But then even when I was at Disneyland, you guys, I still had some other food. I had like one of those yellow, they're like yellow sherbet, non-dairy cones from the Abominable Snowman guy or Adorable Snowman guy down in DCA, California Adventure. Trying to think of what else we had. I think I had some hot cocoa. Like, I just had some other junk, and I was just like, you know what? I think I hit my max mentally there, but literally 320 grams of carbs, y'all. So bad. And then the scariest part though is I was still hungry. I was literally still hungry. I was like, I could still keep eating. It was terrible. It was scary. So this is who I am, okay, you guys? So just so you know me, full disclosure. So one day on a Friday, I eat 320 grams of carbs, barely enough protein, and way too much fat for health reasons, heart wise. And then the next day, I decide, you know what? I'm just gonna fast today. Because at that point, my body had so much sugar and so much stuff in it that I felt like, honestly, like I don't really need to eat. Granted, I think I slept in again, because I was like, oh, I need the sleep. But yeah, I literally had 50 milligrams of sodium, 2.3 grams of which was probably just from coffee, water, tea, and then I think I had a drink as well. So I had like a cocktail. But yeah, so that's me in a nutshell, you guys. Friday, ate way too much. Saturday, didn't eat a damn thing. And then I think I worked out too. Yeah, I did a walk, and then I did more sprints. So yeah, maybe I didn't have a drink that day. But anyways, guys, so we're still working on the sleep. So we're not perfect. No one's perfect, not even me. But we're still working on the sleep thing. Tomorrow I got to get up. I'm meeting a friend to go on a walk. So yeah. So I'm definitely going to try to get back into my sleep, and get up early, and then try to take a nap later. But if my schedule doesn't persist to let me do that, then I'll have to figure it out. But I do want to get on that sleep schedule. I like nights. I like being able to stay up till midnight, 1 o'clock, and I like waking up early. So if I do that with the anticipation of taking a nap at some point in the day, I mean, at this point, I'm like, if I just get tired and I need to take a nap, I'm going to take a nap. So if it's 11 o'clock, if it's 2 o'clock, if it's 4 o'clock, and, I work from home a lot, and, I'm planning on, doing that, especially when my wife and I have kids. I'll probably be a stay-at-home dad kind of thing. So, if I'm not going out on business meetings or, going out to meet clients or, doing all that kind of stuff. I mean, my house is my office. So, but yeah, so we're going to get the sleep figured out. For Valentine's Day, I don't think I'm going to go as ham as I did for that last week. But if I do eat a lot of carbs. The way that at least I naturally counteract the effects is, is I do some sprints and I make sure to walk. And granted, I didn't do yoga those 2 days, but um, yeah, for the most part, it's what makes me feel like I can justify giving in to these urges. Not saying it's right, but it was reality. And but it also I just want to make sure I emphasize the fact that just a little tweak in your routine can just derail so much of all the stuff you've worked for. Um, so I want you guys to be mindful of it. I want you to be careful, but at the same time, I don't want you to be stick. I want you to know that if your sleep schedule gets fucked up, you might have to sacrifice some other things that you're used to doing every day, and the stuff that you're used to routinely doing, and then having that acceptance and being humble in that, and not being like have a big ego and stress out. Oh God, please, God forbid that I've stressed out for something like this, but especially you guys, like I don't want you guys to stress out about this stuff. If you don't get sleep and you eat shitty food the next day, it's not worth killing yourself over. It's one day in a lifetime of lifestyle and activity and all that stuff. So don't beat yourself up. It becomes a problem though when it ends up being a part of your routine, and it's an every day, every week kind of thing. Like right now, I'm doing 2 weeks in a row of this, and I'm not proud of it. Um, but I'm also not I'm not gonna sit back and go like, well, why wouldn't I want to eat carbs? It's like once you eat them, you're like, yeah, these are amazing. So all that to be said is I want you guys to know that these kinds of things are normal. These swings are normal, and they're gonna happen. And there's probably a support system out there, like maybe some other friends or family that you can partner with and let them know, like, hey, I had a really hard day of sleep yesterday, and now my diet's all fucked up, and I'm trying to get back in the swing of things. If you could help me at all with watching the kids, or just letting me take some time off, or let me go home early, Mr. Boss, or whatever, and just take care of yourself. But don't stress out about it. Please don't stress out. It's not worth the stress. The eating some extra calories, eating some extra carbs, and adding a few pounds is not worth stressing out about. So, but once we're back in it, we're back in it. We go hard, and we make sure that we at least hold ourselves accountable for that day, and we don't blame the process. We might blame the one bad night of sleep or the one bad meal, which is fine, but just don't get upset that like, oh, this isn't gonna work. That's a dumb excuse. So, but yeah, then we're gonna do the little comparison. I'm gonna get rid of my face. So as you can see, it's interesting. It like if you squint your eyes, like I'm squinting my eyes right now, and they don't look different. You know what I mean? But when I open my eyes and I really look, I mean, it's my chest, so, and my stomach, so I can tell what looks different, at least how I feel. So my pecs are like, they're getting stronger to the point where now, like, I was even messing around with my wife. I showed her my pecs, and I was like, I kind of like tried to move each one like Terry Crews. It was hilarious. She thought it was funny, but I could actually kind of do it, and it just made me go like, holy crap, I've never been able to do that. So a lot of muscle is being created in my pecs, even though you can't really see it. But if I tell you that, they kind of look a little less booby and a little bit more masculine, even in between my pecs, and you can see the little curvature of the pecs. It's a little bit more defined, but after 6 weeks, is what it is. I would say, the God, I don't want to say this too many times, but the part of my, where my boxers are, right, and those little like V lines, or not V lines, but those little lines that come up kind of following the boxer line, but what do they call it? They call it dick root. but like, the little lines that go up on the sides, kind of following the curvature of my stomach, you know, those aren't there on the left side at all. The only thing you see on the left side is my fat, is my gut, and my gut is making that shape. Versus on the right side, that's actually, there's no fat, and you can actually see my bones. And then even my belly button is more like flat, so it's not bulged out like it is on the left hand side, and it's kind of, it's not like flat like washboard abs, but it's definitely got this different like muscular kind of vibe to it. And I haven't been doing a lot of crazy ab workouts. The only time I do abs is either with my wife or during yoga. So, and then this time I didn't have that little arm thing. Where was it? It was like right here. I had a little kink in my arm, so that's not there this time. I don't know if it was just the angle or what, but it's all good. Whatever. Oh, one thing I did kind of just notice too, like if you look right here in my armpit, and then look over here in my armpit, like it just looks, like there's more of a like of an indent right here. And even over here, it looks a little bit less flabby. It looks like more like, less fat and more just plain skin. So, anyways, don't want to go too deep into my body, but the point is that there are changes. Yes, they're super subtle, but if we're thinking long term, we're thinking a lifestyle change, we're thinking 365 days, who knows what we're going to see in the next month? Who knows what we're going to see by the end of the year? And that's exciting to me. I think that's cool because, granted, I'm spending more time investing in different aspects of being active. Like walking takes twice as long than running. Granted, sprinting is sprinting, and even yoga. Some people might not think spending an hour or even 15 minutes, but up to an hour, hour and a half of yoga every day is worth the time. That's 3.5 hours of your day, right? So, but for someone who is unhappy physically, who has has a bad emotional wellness, who doesn't have really good sleep, it's really hard for them to fight their diet and have any kind of diet, and they just need something to motivate them. And this is kind of my you know my response to that. My response to someone who's struggling with weight or struggling with being active is just start walking, or do some incline push-ups against the wall, or on a coffee table or a countertop, um, to then one day do regular push-ups, or one day go for a sprint, go for a couple minutes of sprints, or play basketball, or do frisbee, tennis, not tennis, ultimate frisbee. And it's like, you got to start somewhere, and we're not all athletes. We all didn't grow up, lifting weights and going to the gym. And so that's another thing too. Like, I want to cater to anyone who just wants something to change. And if you want something to change, like, this is me setting an example for you to see the changes before you do them. I know 100% in my heart and soul that if you stay for a year, you are going to see changes. Granted, you want a couple of them with a good diet, a different diet that's not based on carbs. But the idea, though, is just that little bit of effort can really drastically change your life, make you feel better, make you have better sleep, and just if anything, be more in tune with nature if you're walking outside, and knowing more about your body and seeing the changes firsthand with me. I'm hoping that you would then see the changes on yourself as time goes on. And after a month, this is what Scott saw. After 2 months, this is what happened here. And so that's why we're doing this, you guys. And it's more than just the physical and emotional. It's I want these transformations to pour over into the intellectual, the occupational, the financial, social, spiritual. Like, this is wellness to the eighth degree, because we have 8 different types of areas. But I'm gonna cut it off because 40 minutes. But and I always think to myself, how do I talk for 40 minutes about this stuff? But it just happens, we start talking about something, and we get on a roll, and here we are. So appreciate everybody. Thank you guys so much for supporting SoCalQOL, whatever that means to you. If it's just liking photos, if it's sharing them on your own Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Twitter, Twitch, we're everywhere. But no, I just I've actually had some interactions with a few amount of followers and subscribers, and just friends of mine, and they're getting it too. Like, they're understanding why we're doing this. They understand why we have this culture, and why we're setting these kinds of standards across the board for our wellness and our quality of life. And it's because we don't know any other way to make sense of the hustle, and just our all around life, because there you have to really dive deep into the foundation of what is a happy life. And up until this point, I've never really known, but I've always felt something. It's, I don't want to be cliche or anything, but it's kind of like the Matrix. It's like knowing that there's something different with the world, but you don't know what it is. So with that being said, until you can, call a spade, until you can label something and actually be able to put some framework around it, you're going to feel lost. You're going to feel confused, and you're going to feel frustrated that you can't understand why your life ends this way, or feels that way, or financially goes in this direction, and you don't know where to go. You don't know who to look to. And so we want to be that resource for you. We want SoCalQOL to be a resource that you look for, that you look towards, to embrace your reality, be more self-aware of who you are, take control of your life, and then go do it. Literally give you all the tools you need, try to give you as much information as we can on every type of wellness, and just, we want to see you guys flourish. We want to see you guys improve and be better, happier people with amazing qualities of life. And then that will branch off into your spouse, your loved one, your significant other, your family, your kids, and then hopefully your friends, your close friends first, and then your other regular friends, and then your friends' friends, and then it's all of a sudden it's in your business, and it's it just and we would love, in the future, our goal is to come out to your business, to come out to your conference, to come out to your church, and really just have you guys embrace the culture that we have here. And from there, we think that that's going to cause the change that you've wanted in your own life. And what better place to have it in your family's lives, your workplace, your business's life, your workplace, all that stuff. So that's what we're doing, guys. That's what we're here, and that's why we talk for 45 minutes about a Transformation Tuesday, only after 6 weeks. But yeah, we really appreciate you guys. Thank you, everyone, for listening. As always, like, subscribe, share, comment, tweet, reply, post. Do anything you can just to spread the word. Any type of value that this could give anyone just pass it along. That's all we ask. And we just look forward to the next one. We'll see you tomorrow for another amazing podcast. And yeah, have a great rest of your day. SHIT, so happy it's Tuesday. We love y'all. Bye-bye.